Punjabi a mandatory main subject in all schools, warning that certification will be void without it. Similarly, Telangana has made Telugu compulsory from class 1st to 10th across all boards. Now, let's take a look at the big question. One, Stalin's claim that Hindi swallowed regional languages. Is it correct? Second, is Stalin trying to create an electoral pitch around language? Third, is a dead debate being revived for political consolidation? On this issue, I'm joined by Narayan Lakshman, Senior Associate Editor at The Hindu, Ajit Kejha, Senior Journalist, Mohandas Pai, Chairman, Global Education University, Chairman. Thank you all of you. We'll also be joined by Vinay Sahasrabudhe, former member Raj Sabha, subsequently in our program. Let me straight away go to Narayan Lakshman. Sir, my question to you is that why has Stalin made language such a strong pitch? Is it something which Delhi is failing to understand?
I don't think there's a lack of understanding, Karthikeya. I think it's a strong pitch because it has very powerful emotional and sort of evocative ties going back to the history of Tamil Nadu, going back to at least 1967, possibly before that, where Tamil as a language was part of the Dravidian movement. It was part of what was vectors used to mobilize people. And therein, it also relates to deeper questions of state autonomy or, the basis on which Tamil Nadu and its leaders saw themselves within the federal structure of India, and within that demanded their own share of rights, resources, and more. So Tamil, the language today is not just about schools. Of course, it is manifested in what are they allowing in government schools, and what is the rest of the state actually, like the private sector, allowing. But it is a broader question because it has these political echoes, and it's not going to go away anytime soon either. It's very much going to be part of the rhetoric, especially during election time and when everybody's in campaigning mode.
Okay. Ajit, is this statement correct that Hindi has swallowed regional languages, because couple of them, or a majority of them, are bolis, as we call them, dialects. Those are spoken tongues without script.
No, Karthikeya, take my mother tongue, Maithili. Maithili is a much richer language compared to Hindi. In fact, Bengali, Odia, Akhamiya, all were offshoots of Maithili. We had a script called the Mithalakshar that was replaced by the Devanagari script. In fact, Paul Brass wrote a brilliant book where he talked about language and nation. So it is true, Hindi did kill many of the languages. Bhojpuri, for Angika and others are not exactly language like Maithili, but they are spoken by almost 5 crore people in eastern UP and western part of Bihar, North Bihar. All these languages have been swallowed because of the overemphasis on Hindi. And the reason, of course, was because at one time people felt, the officials felt that English was eating up Hindi. But I think this has happened a great deal. If you study the Punjabi Suba movement, for example, the same thing. Hindi was imposed on Punjabi. So it is true. If you have a 3-language formula, the mother tongue should equally get a lot of emphasis, which it hasn't. So in fact, the entire idea of having a Mithila state, the movement has been running for almost 70 years, is precisely based on the language. Because the Mithila culture is around the Maithili language, and it has another 3 or 4 crore speakers all over the world. So they kind of resist this imposition of Hindi, which, as I pointed out, it doesn't have a great history. If you see Maithili, you have writers from 14th century onwards writing in Maithili, both prose and verse, and some of them are brilliant. So yes, I think Stalin that way is right. I would, of course, agree that he's doing it for political purposes, given the fact that Tamil Nadu is going to have an election next year. But at the same time, the imposition of Hindi, not only by the present government, but governments in the past from the center, has ended up eating regional languages. So I think it's a very important statement by Stalin. I agree with it.
Okay, let me go across to Mohandas Pai, Chairman, Manipal Global Education University. Sir, is this issue about NEP? Is it about imposition of Hindi? Is it about Hindi swallowing regional languages? Or is it pure play politics positioning before the assembly elections?
Look, language is an identity for people. For example, I'm a Konkani. My mother tongue is Konkani. I'm a minority in this country as a language. We're only 25 lakh people who speak Konkani, and we are very fond of our language. We don't like Hindi being imposed on us. Even for us, we are a small minority. We are one of the smallest minorities in this country, and we are all treated shabbily, oppressed, depressed, suppressed. Let me make it very clear, all right? Now, I'm all for learning Hindi because learning Hindi gives you mobility all across India. But I'm against the imposition of Hindi, which has been done by many governments in this country, and particularly by the NDA government, and particularly by the Home Ministry. When the government of India communicates to state, it sends it in Hindi. Why can't they send in Hindi, the state language, and English? I think they should do it in all three. Now look at the laws. We had a law, the CPC and the CRPC, I think, was changed. They came out with the Hindi title. Now, we don't understand the Hindi title in the south of this country. Why are you imposing a Hindi title? Why didn't you have an English title? Otherwise, will you do a title in Tamil, Kannada, Malayalam, etc.? Now, these people are trying to impose Hindi because they are Hindi zealots.